Well, hi everyone, and welcome back to Make Our World Your Runway. Of course, everyone knows this is the show that's not only about pageantry, about modeling and fashion, but we also interview fantastic individuals from the business industry, the entertainment industry, and whatever industry that you are part of. We even went into the law firms a couple of weeks ago. So whatever industry that you're into, you can definitely be on Make Our World Your Runway. But today we are going to go back into the pageantry world. And our theme is, why should you be part of a pageant? And especially, why should you be part of Miss International World? And I have two amazing guests that are going to come on very shortly and tell you why they were part of this organization. But as always, we like to give you several announcements that we think are important to everyone. And we always want to remind you to subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so that you can view all of the shows of Make Our World Your Runway and even the success stories. I highly recommend you tuning into both of these shows because, again, you're going to see some fantastic individuals that have some amazing stories. And also, I highly recommend tuning into Success Stories because that is produced by the Global Trade Chamber. And when you listen to success stories, you are going to hear and see some amazing women that have started from humble beginnings and today have become some of the leading world entrepreneurs and doing some wonderful things within the community and great community service. So I highly recommend you tuning into that. And once again, we want to remind everyone that Volume 2 of the Most 100 Successful Women in Business book is now out. You can order it from Amazon. There was book 1 and book 2. I was in London, England in August when they launched book 2, and the slogan there was from scratch to success. And as I said before, you have to pick up a copy of that book. Trust me, you will not put it down. I was in Volume 1. And not only my story, but I was reading stories of other women, and I didn't want to put that book down. And again, these are women that came from very humble beginnings. I mean, some of them didn't even know where their next paycheck was going to come from. And all of a sudden, they've got businesses. They were entrepreneurs. They traveled the world. And then they got involved with the community and doing great community service. So I highly recommend that you pick up that book, Volume 2 of the 100 Most Successful Women in Business. And you can always go to the website, www.100.swb.com, for all that information and also learn about Volume 2. And as always, 100 Successful Women in Business is going to be on the road again. They're going to Philadelphia, Chicago, and this year they're going to do their big convention in December in Mumbai, India, and that is going to be absolutely fantastic. So these events that you don't want to miss, once again, please go to their website and you can view all the information and where 100 Successful Women and the Global Trade Chamber will be next. And we're going to talk about that today on the show. We had an opportunity to just do their event in Miami, which was another very successful event. And Miss International World Organization was so proud to be part of it. But like I said, our theme today is, why should you join a pageant and why should you even be part of Miss International World? Well, let's give you a little insight on that. And there's so many people that get very misconstrued on what a pageant is all about. Many people think that pageants are just beautiful women on a stage parading around in swimwear and evening gowns, and they get crowned, and well, basically that's it. And they come back the following year and crown another girl. Okay, well, the word says beauty, and they are all beautiful, and yes, they do come back and they do crown their successor. However, throughout that year, these women are not just wearing that crown on their head, but they wear that crown in their heart. They work with charitable organizations. They go to school. Many of them are getting college degrees. I mean, I've had girls that also have gone on to become entrepreneurs. I had a girl that became an anesthesiologist. I had another girl that became a cardiologist. I've had girls that have started their own TV and their own radio shows. Even our Miss Latina International Puerto Rico, she's the executive producer of Peace on the Streets radio show. And she also has a new show called Latina Role Models. We have our former Miss International World in India, who has the International Glamour Project. She also had a clothing line. She teaches. She's been on the cover of several magazines. So these women are absolutely amazing and fantastic. They just don't stand there and parade around in bathing suits all year. They're actually working, and we are so proud of them. And then you're going to say, well, there's so many pageants out there. Why would we come to Miss International World? Well, First of all, we are an international pageant. We have women from around the world that actually attend our annual event. They come from India, they come from the Bahamas, they come from Nigeria, they come from Chile, they come from Puerto Rico. You name it, far and wide, they are coming to us, okay? And the reason being, as our model states, we are more than a pageant, we are more than beauty. We are a way of life for all women because we empower these women through a crown. And in our organization, we make dreams become reality, and we are a pageant of purpose. Not only that, when you come to our annual event, you're going to be very surprised. It's just not a pageant, but it's like going to a Broadway production because we have the most fabulous entertainment. This year and every year, backed by popular demand, we have one of the greatest hosts that anybody could ever have, Lamont Easter. Okay, he's a veteran actor. He's been in Madam Secretary. He's starred in many shows. He's a great host. He will be back again. Our main entertainer, Tito Puente Jr., who is the son of the great Tito Puente. And this year we are celebrating 100-year anniversary of the great Tito Puente, who put Latin music on the map. He's absolutely amazing. We have Melina Almadova, who sings with Tito. She is absolutely fantastic. In fact, she is now going to produce for the 11th year in a row Salsa Fest, which is going to be coming up in April. And once again, Miss Latina International is so honored to be part of Salsa Fest. And also last year, we were treated to Stephen Avi, world-renowned violinist. He's even opened up for Lady Gaga. So this is the reason why a lot of people come to our event. And I should also mention, we're probably on one of the biggest stages going. For 5 years in a row now, we've been on Margaritaville at Sea. I always like to say, we mambo all the way to the Bahamas and back. And it is truly a great experience for everybody. So we do things a little bit different. We are definitely on a cruise ship, and we're so happy to be part of the Margaritaville family. But as I said, I have two amazing guests today, and they're going to tell you what they do throughout the year, why they got into pageants, and how they got involved with Miss International World. So let's welcome back to Make Our World Your Runway. I'm gonna say her first name because I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. Maithili, who was Miss Canada and now is Miss International World Petite, and India Davis, who competed as Miss Bahamas and took the second top title as Miss International World Global. So ladies, good morning and welcome back to Make Our World Your Runway.
Hello, good morning.
Good
How are you,
morning.
Anna?
Well, like we said, I think we all got a little bit of extra sleep last night. And
Much needed.
fighting accidents coming home on the road is always, it's a great pleasure to always come into. But anyway, ladies, you look amazing as always. We're always so proud of you. Both of you look
Thank
beautiful.
you.
And as I told
Thank
our
you.
viewers, oh, you're quite welcome. It's my pleasure. And as I told our viewers that you ladies come from far and wide. So, Maithili, let's start with you, okay? You came from Canada. You came and you
Yes.
competed in our organization and you took the petite title. And what I forgot to mention is that we have a title basically for everyone. We give out like 7 different titles. So what have you been doing this year and what did it take to actually get to where you got to?
First of all, the most important thing that got me here is my support from my family, because without them, it's impossible to take the next step. And after that, I got the best guidance from Dr. Akshita through the International Glamour Project, and then I met you, which was the best thing that happened, and and along with that, it was my hard work, my dedication, and my consistency towards my goal of achieving a title as Miss International World Petite. I think just focusing on what you want and ignoring everyone else, all the negativity, and just believing in yourself, because you know everyone is unique, and just love yourself and you'll reach your goal.
That's very true. And you have a very unique title and a very outstanding title because of the simple fact that there's a lot of petite women out there in the world that
Yes, yes,
always say they were rejected into pageants because they didn't have the height, or they were rejected into
yes,
modeling because they didn't have the height.
yes.
And I'm
Because
also a petite.
majority of the times the designers want someone who's more taller, and I've been through the same experience where I was rejected quite a few times, but then I just never gave up,
No,
and just God gave me this opportunity and I just took everything out of it.
exactly. You can never give up. And that's the
Yeah.
reason why we started this petite title, because we knew, okay, and of course, petite women did a lot of print modeling, but it doesn't mean that a petite woman, I mean, look at our former petite, okay, Britt. She could really rock a runway. Every time she did a photo shoot, I mean, she was absolutely stunning. Now, she's another one, a success story that's gone on to have her own cosmetic company. And ladies, by the way,
Mhm.
later, when you see this gift that she's given to both of you, you're not going to have to go out and buy cosmetics for at least the next 6 months. Okay. So, it's absolutely amazing. And I've seen so many petite women, and designers are starting to change a little bit because they're realizing that you have all different type of women, okay, but it doesn't mean that a petite woman can't rock that runway. I know they make the gowns a little bit longer, but hey, if you're a seamstress, bring them up and I always say, let the strutting begin. So yep, absolutely. And you never gave up. You had the will to go on. You've got the Miss International or Petite title, and you're a role model for all the women out there, and like myself, that are 5'5" and under, that have always been rejected. The only reason why I was never rejected is because they didn't care if I was a 2.5 foot little pygmy out there. As long as I could sing, that's all they were interested in.
Mhm.
But it did help when I was on stage to put the heels on and get some height. So, but now Miss
Yes.
India, okay, you have an amazing beginning, because I know you were not, um, as they say, like a pageant patty, somebody that competed in a lot of pageants, but you got into the Miss Bahamas pageant. I believe, if I'm saying this correctly, you were the first runner up, which gave you the title of Miss
Yeah.
International World Bahamas. You came into our organization and you took the second highest title. So, how do you feel about that? And how did you prep for that? Because that was amazing.
Well, first of all, I'm always so grateful to have the opportunity to do such amazing things with such little experience. My dad always tells me that whatever I do it to the best of my ability, and the best is always good enough. Like, my best is always good enough to do great. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity, for my family, for my friends. They always push me to do my best, and someone's knocking on the door. Sorry, but going into the pageant, I wasn't really a pageant girl, like you said. I did sports. I always did well in school, but never was attracted to the beauty side of things. But when you enter a pageant, you realize that it's not all about beauty, like you said. Like, girls are looking for people just like them, people who don't have any experience, people regular, like a regular person, just like me, like how I was, and I still am. But it's a great opportunity to be that role model for that girl, to show them that you can do anything you put your mind to,
Correct.
and that the sky is the limit, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Sky is the limit. You just reminded me of a story, and it also happens in the entertainment industry. And of course, I lived in New Jersey, and I wasn't far from New York City, so New York City was like my playground. And Disney World decided they were going to have auditions for singers. So, they gave their requirements of what they were looking for. So I went there, and, they put scores up on the board when you go to try out, just like you were in the Olympics. And I'm getting all 9.7s, 9.8. One judge gives me a 10. And I got the director sitting there saying, "Oh, you have the most beautiful voice I've heard today, but you're not what I'm looking for." I said, "Wait a minute. Wait a minute." I followed everything. I did 16 bars. I said, "I don't get what you're looking for." Well, they never were really specific. What they wanted was somebody, the guy that came in behind me played a guitar. They took him because he could go around singing in the parks to all the little kids, but they never specified that. So I come out, and a friend of mine says, "Listen, they're auditioning for understudies today for Phantom of the Opera." I said, "That's it. I've had it. I'm going home." I said, "Not a good day." He said, "Listen, I have a good feeling about this, and I have a good feeling about you. Just go over there. It can't hurt." He says, "You're about 2 blocks away." I says, "All right." I went. It's probably the best thing I ever did, because before I got home, I was getting a phone call that I was the understudy. Okay. So I got rejected from one, but accepted from another. So you're right about that. You just, Maithili, you got to keep going. Okay. You can't give up.
Yes.
And
Yes.
in the entertainment industry and the pageant industry, there is a lot of rejection.
Mhm.
You could be standing on stage doing all the right things and wonder, why didn't I win that title? Okay. But you don't give up. You
Mhm.
keep going back. I knew one girl that went back 7 times into the Miss American Petite pageant and finally won. After the 7th time, she finally won. But I've
Mhm.
also noticed this. A lot of times a girl that has done a lot of pageants, they're so nervous and they really want to get that title that they don't let themselves go, and they're not themselves.
Mhm.
And it takes them a long time. Yet somebody like yourself, India and Maithili, who came into this
Mhm.
and had fun with it and were yourselves, you excelled.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
And I had, believe it or not, looking at the two of you, it reminds me of something I had to learn. I used to go in a lot of auditions, and I think I was just so wanted something that all of a sudden I was not me, I was somebody else. So when I
Mhm.
realized that I could go in and just have fun with it and say, "Hey, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, you know what? Another great experience." When I started being more of myself and acting like myself, that's when things started to come to me. Okay. And
Mhm.
that's what I admire about the both of you, because you both came into this, okay, with high expectations, but not high expectations, being yourself. I noticed during rehearsal, you guys were enjoying yourselves, and look at the end results.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I I think that the two of you have a message to say to women that want to come into any pageant. So, Maithili, what would you tell somebody that wanted to come into a pageant?
So, first of all, being a dentist myself, so I would say if you already have a career, you don't have to stop it or you don't have to pause it. You can achieve your goal along with balancing your normal life. Doesn't matter what age you are or what height or what size. There is nothing wrong in having a dream that you want to achieve. And if you are ready to take all the steps that you need to, then I think you are taking one step ahead and one step more closer to getting where you want to. So I would say any woman in this entire world, doesn't matter like where in which part of the world she is, I would say should try out for the Miss International World. And it's just, you have to make that stand and take that first step. That is the most important. Until and unless you make up your mind, nothing is really going to work out. So just be confident and go ahead and achieve your dreams. That's all I
Exactly.
would like.
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct on that, because you do have a career. And I know a lot of women do or a lot of men focus on their careers, but a lot of women do that. I know sometimes when they get married, they have children, they'll take a step back, but then they'll come back into it. And you're right. How many women, and especially that it's International Women's Month, And we saw this at the 100 Successful Women in Business event that we just attended. We saw that there were a lot of women out there that had careers, okay, and have families, but took it to a next level. They're out there being entrepreneurs now. They're doing something different. So you're correct about that. India, what would you say about that?
Well, every time somebody asks me this question, I always say to just do it because that's exactly what I did. And 2 weeks before, not 2 weeks, about 2 months before the Miss Universe pageant, Miss King, I believe you might know her. She scouted me. I was at work. She's one of our patients at the doctor's office I work for. And she was like, have you ever done a pageant? And I'm like, no. No, I always thought about doing it because when I was small, ever since I was young, I always watched the Miss Universe pageant on TV. And I was like, wow, look at how they're so confident. Look at how they're not scared of anything. Actually, that's how it seemed. And I was always like, I want to be that person when I get older. But I never really knew how to get into it, or I never really had the opportunity. So as soon as I got the opportunity, I just jumped straight into it. I called my mom. I was like, Mommy, guess what happened to me today? I actually went to the rehearsal that day. And I was interested and it looked fun. I looked like it would be something I would have enjoyed doing. So I just did it. And then what came out of it was even better. I was able to enter the Miss International World pageant, which is one of the best pageants in my opinion. There were so many opportunities that came from it. Even before I actually competed, I was able to go to the New York Fashion Week. It was a lot of speaking opportunities. I got to be a good role model for kids in the Ramfley homes. That's and another children's home we have in the Bahamas. It's called the Elizabeth Estates Home. So I went there a few times. We did Zumba classes. We spoke about problems they were having at home and how everybody dealt with them. So it was good. It was a good experience for me and for others. You really get to, I like to use the word, minister to kids younger than you. And people in the Bahamas especially, they don't get that often. And it's not very often you see beauty queens doing things like that. So I think it's great for the children to see that beautiful women can be nice too. Like they actually do important things that can help their community. Yes.
Exactly. And it's funny you should say that, because going back in 2019, when we did the pageant, and that's when the ship was actually on the Bahama Paradise Cruise Line, we went to, of course, we go to the Grand Bahama Islands, and there was an organization that worked with children. And, you know, with Hurricane Dorian and everything and other hurricanes that hit, well, I'll get to Hurricane Dorian in a minute, but they had another storm prior to that. And they had said that the children didn't have shoes. And they were sending us pictures, and it broke my heart, because I said, oh my God, children don't have shoes. That was just something I just couldn't fathom. So we were working with an organization here in the States that their charity was all about helping children and giving shoes. We brought, and the ship, we were lucky to do this, the ship worked with us. We brought 1,000 pairs of shoes for these children, and we got them on the island. And the kids were standing there. They couldn't, like, these were brand new shoes. These weren't anything that was used. This was all brand new, all different sizes. And these kids were standing there. And I am telling you, the smiles on their faces, the tears in the eyes of some of the some of the parents, okay? It was unbelievable. And you know what? I walked away from there with tears in my eyes, but I felt good, because I felt that my organization did something, okay? And then when Hurricane Dorian hit, I was watching television, and it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and I saw this poor woman, the news had it on, and this poor woman that was on a roof with her children screaming, help me, because she thought she was going to drown. And I knew that the Bahamas was in a lot of trouble. And I got in touch with the CEO of the cruise line about 5 o'clock that morning. I said, O'Neill, We are in trouble, but whatever we're going to do, I am there to help. And we did 3 humanitarian cruises to the Bahamas. And I am so proud of the Miss International World women because we donated clothes, we donated water, we brought food. I had designers that were making new clothes and said, Angela, just take it over there. And we were able to help. We gave money, okay? So we were able to help the people of the Bahamas. And I think that's why, it's probably why I have a very soft heart when it comes to the Bahamas, because I was there and I actually was on a humanitarian cruise and I saw what happened to these people and I saw the homes being destroyed. And I was like, am I looking at something that's correct, or am I dreaming? I wasn't dreaming. So what you just said about doing a charity, that's great because you were able to help children and we were able to help the children. So you know what? India, I think the Bahamas is a lot better for some of the things we've done.
Definitely.
Yeah. And
Definitely.
the two of you have great directors. I mean, Maithili, you've got 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬, who also has a big heart and does a lot with charity. And India, you got Tony. I mean, Tony is like, I can get Tony at 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay. He'll be anytime. And of course, 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬, because we're on a 10-hour difference. 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬 got me at 3 o'clock in the morning. And believe it or not, sometimes I am up. I'll be doing something. I'll say, oh, wait a minute. Let me look at my phone. It's got a message to me. So I'm getting back to her. So I think the greatest thing right now is that with all the telecommunications that we have and the phones and WhatsApp and everything, that we're able to communicate around the world. But you ladies have done some great work. I mean, unbelievable. And Maithili, just the fact that you are a dentist. And don't laugh. I almost wanted to become a dentist. Okay. I just didn't have the guts to see blood. I said, no, I don't want to see that. In fact, when they were operating on my heart, the doctors to me, you want to see us going up there? I said, no, cover the screen. I said, I don't think I could. He said, yeah, but you get to know what you look like inside. I said, trust me, I don't need to know. Just give me that shot of Benadryl and let me go into a little bit of a sleep here. I said, no, I don't want to know. Okay. But it is interesting. Believe it or not, I just watched, I had an exam on my throat because I've always had problems with sinuses. And I actually did watch them 2 weeks ago, actually go down with the snake, see what my vocal cords look like. And yeah, Maithili, I have to admit, it is interesting when you see all the blood and everything. So you probably see that when you pull teeth and get in there and clean teeth. So,
yes.
So yeah, maybe you're going to give me the encouragement to become a doctor. I don't know. I might do it in my whole life.
I can motivate you.
Yes, you can. Exactly. You can motivate me. That's very true. But
the thing about entering this pageant was that throughout my journey, I used to post different things, and even after, like, I'm posting like the event I'm attending, all the different kinds of things that I'm doing, and then I've had a few who are like, you know what, we are going to join a pageant just because looking at your journey, you've inspired us. Like, we look up to you, and then how you can do 2 things together, and you just do it so flawlessly that it just makes us feel so good, so proud of you. Plus, we want to take the same steps that you did. So it just makes me feel very happy that I'm actually becoming a role model for other people. So as that was one of my goals, and it just feels very nice when someone looks up to you.
Exactly. And as I said yesterday, with all the interviews that we were getting, and that was one of the things I brought up, and the woman said, well, that was going to be my next question. Why do you not put years on the banner? And I said, we don't do that. I said, for a simple reason. Let's say, for instance, Hunter cannot go out and make an appearance. All right. 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬 could go back out as Miss International World. 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬, who was the one who crowned 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬. She lives here in Florida. A lot of times when Hunter can't make it, I'll say, look, can I put 𝐏𝐚𝐠𝐞𝐬? Oh, yes, no problem. And that's the beauty part of this, because one of the things that I do, and I say repeatedly, just because you crown a successor does not mean that that title is going to totally disappear. You have that title for life. You want to go out 5 years from now and represent that title, as long as you tell us, I have no problem with that. Okay, because that is exposure for us. And we're not, one of the things that I forgot to mention and what really makes us different is that, number one, we're not very, what they call pageant patty. And I mean, every director is going to run their pageant different, but we're a little bit different. Okay, our choreography and everything is totally different, our entertainment. But we don't forget about our women. You know, when a girl does crown a successor, we don't turn around and say, you know, hey, thank you very much and so long. No, we don't do that. Okay, we say, if you want to be part of this organization, you want to stay with us, whatever capacity, you want to go out and represent that title, we do not have a problem with that. I have one girl right now who is Miss Latina International going back in 2006. She's gorgeous. Her name is Gretchen Unger. Gretchen really put the Latina side on the map because she's the only beauty queen, in addition to Miss Universe, that ever signed the NFL Super Bowl player book. Okay, she's her and Miss Universe. She just got in touch with me. She's been watching you ladies. She said, you know, you guys do great things. She said, I want to come back to the organization. I miss it. It's my passion. And for me to hear that, I said, you know what? I'm doing something right. And all you ladies are doing something right, because here's a girl that had a title back in 2006 on the Latin side. I believe she wants to come onto the world side. She said, this is my passion. I have to get back. And I've seen this play out a lot. A lot of times when, and of course, everybody's going to move on. And, you know, if someone has a title and they get married and they have children. But when the crown and banner sometimes isn't prevalent, it kind of tends to, people tend not to get as much notoriety as when the crown and banner is prevalent. Okay. So, and I've seen this play out. And that's what does make us different, because of Miss Universe, even though they have a 5-year contract, they can't go out and put a crown and banner on. They can say they were Miss Universe such and such a year. But with us, which makes us unique and which makes us different, is because I will never say to a former title holder, you can't go out and represent our pageant. You can always wear that crown and banner. So it just adds a little something extra. So those are the things that make us totally different. You ladies can come back as judges. You ladies can come back as coaches. I mean, hey, you know, if we don't get another Miss Canada, Maithili, you can go out there and still do your thing. So, I mean, it's, yeah, that's just some of the things that really make us different. But anyway, India, I mean, I know we got a long way to go till October, but what's in your future? What are your future plans? Where do you see yourself going, or what do you want to accomplish?
Well, in reference to pageants, I definitely want to be doing more of those. It's something I found out I really enjoy, something I think about often. It's always on my mind, like, how can I improve this? How can I help these people with my title, with my platform? So it's an amazing thing to really get into. I've only done 2 so far. I just started, was that April or May of last year? And it brought me so far right now. So why not do more? But in reference to other things like school and work, I actually, okay, I have 2 things on my mind. I like doing business related things. So I'm thinking about studying business management. But ever since I was small, I wanted to be either a dermatologist or an esthetician. So that is always on my mind also. And I'm young. I have time to do all of these things. I can do whatever I want, really.
Exactly.
So starting next year, I'm going to be, yeah, I'm going to definitely get into my schooling. Right now I work at an OBGYN office, and I really enjoy doing that also. So I'm still juggling a few things in my head.
Nothing wrong with that. In my younger day, I kind of lived in that kind of office. I'm beyond that time now. A little bit different, but you know, I still keep up with my yearly exams. But you know, when you're younger, and how do they say, when the hormones are really going, yeah, that's the office you always have to visit every now and then. But yeah, no, it's true. And you know, it's so funny because there is an organization out there, and I always tag them a lot in a lot of our posts. It's called Know Your Value, and it is actually presented by a woman called Mika Brzezinski, who happens to be on our MSNBC, which is an affiliate of NBC. And she was showing women not only in their 30s, but 50 and beyond. They had a woman, 92 years old. I almost fell off the chair. 92 years old. She was a seamstress. She had retired. And of course, during COVID, anybody that age really was not going out because they just didn't want to get that. I can understand at that age getting that virus. Well, now that COVID is kind of over, this woman came back out at 92. She is a seamstress. She's got, what did they say? She's got 4 places in like 4 or 5 different states. This woman made $1 million last year, 92 years old. When I saw this, I said, oh, there's a lot of hope. I said, because I'm not even there yet. I'm getting close. I said, but I'm not there. 92. This woman went back to and she's donating to all different charities. I'm scratching my head. I said, okay, now I'm definitely on a roll because I know there's hope. So you know what? You're right. You have a long life ahead of you. It doesn't matter. And, you know, sometimes when you have goals like this, it will keep you going. It'll keep you going on years and years and years because it keeps the mind going. Okay. And the old saying is a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And you ladies have got a lot on the plate. And I expect somebody, I don't know if it's either you two or somebody's going to become a big Hollywood star. I expect that. Okay. And I always say, you know, when that happens, just write me a note and let me know that you're going to get an Oscar. That's all I basically expect. But Maithili, I know you've got a lifelong history of things you want to do. So let us know what you accomplish.
Well, being a dentist was my first goal, which I've already achieved. Then being a pageant winner, second thing crossed off. Now, the thing that I really have a passion for is acting. So I do want to get into doing some acting. Of course, I would definitely need your help and your guidance with it. And and along with that, like I said the last time as well, that my dream is also to be a part of a fashion week, like either a New York Fashion Week or Paris, London, Milan, anything. It's just a part of my dream to be a part of that. So those are the 2 things. And apart from that, I do want to do something for women's education. Like that is something that I really have high priority for. Around the world where, you know, the education for women is not really readily available, or it's just restricted because of some traditions or some values or some, you know, it's just a discrimination between men and women sometimes in some parts of the world. So, or women have to stay home and take care of the house or whatever. But it doesn't matter what age you start educating yourself. But I really feel that women should be independent, and education gives you that financial stability, which is very, very important for any individual, be it like men, women, it doesn't matter. But usually women lack in those areas. So I would say, yes, women's education is my high priority.
Well, I got a surprise for you ladies. Give me 1 second if I can get her. Okay. And talk about women. Hang in there 1 second. Ron, don't edit this part out. Okay. This is normally not the one that will hang out on the television, but here she is. There's Peaches.
Hi, Peaches.
Say hi. Say hello. Come on. You're the one that always wants to get on there. Say hello. Okay, goodbye. I accidentally locked her in the closet. Yeah. Oh, she's a character. Oh, that one there. She's the cuddly one. The other one's too smart for her good. You want to talk about a real woman? The other one is. Okay. This one's totally, but I figured I'd get her on the TV. She'd give you a little surprise. Okay. Like I said, I'm surprised one isn't behind me. Okay. But a lot of fun. But anyway, ladies, it was a great, great pleasure having you both back on Make Our World Your Runway. I'm so excited for the both of you and the things to come and the great things that we're going to do. And as Maria did tell you, you ladies, we're going to do something in April where you're going to be featured on the cover of Success Stories for 100 Successful Women in Business. And that magazine does go worldwide. Okay. We did last Christmas, we did that magazine with Walina, and I'm trying to think who else was on there. Walina, I think we had our teen on there, Gianna, and our Miss Latina. And I'm telling you, I am still getting people that say to me, "Oh my God, that cover's amazing." I got to put it in my phone so that you ladies could see it. It was, it went around the world. It literally was unbelievable. Okay. And you get a little bit of a write-up in the magazine. So it's great. India, I know Tony will love it. I know Akshata will definitely love it. So yeah, it's a great magazine, and it does go online as well. So yeah, I'm excited for that. To do that. And of course, I'm always working on things. And Maithili, you said about becoming an actress. I have a very good friend of mine in California. He's probably going to kill me because I'm not going out to the Oscars this year. Okay. And
thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon. See you later.
All right.
Bye. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You heard firsthand from two of our pageant ladies, Maithili, who was Miss Canada and now is Miss International World Petite and is a role model for all women, but especially petite women. And you also heard from India Davis, who was Miss Bahamas and is now Miss International World Global, which is our second highest title in the organization. And as always, if you have a story to tell, we invite you to come on Make Our World Your Runway. You can see our email there. Email us at msintlworld.com, and we will definitely get you on the show. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in. And as always, next week, we'll be back with another powerhouse show. Have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.